Hey everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. Today, we're making a timeless classic, a dessert that just screams summer. Strawberry shortcake. But this isn't just any strawberry shortcake. I'm going to show you how to make the most tender, buttery, and flaky shortcakes you've ever had. Piled high with juicy, sweet strawberries and a mountain of fluffy, homemade whipped cream. Forget those dry, crumbly, store-bought sponge cakes. Once you try this recipe, you'll never go back. So, grab your apron, and let's get baking. First things first, let's talk about our star player. The strawberries. You'll want about 2 pounds of fresh, ripe, and fragrant strawberries. The better your berries, the better your dessert. So try to get the best ones you can find. We're going to wash them, hold them by removing the green leafy tops, and then slice them. I like to slice some and quarter others for a nice variety in texture. Place all those beautiful berries into a large bowl. To this, we're going to add about 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. The amount really depends on how sweet your berries are. If they're super sweet, use less. If they're a bit tart, use a little more. Give it a gentle stir to combine. And then here's the magic trick. Let them sit. We're going to let them macerate at room temperature for at least 30 minutes. But an hour is even better. This process draws out the natural juices from the strawberries, creating a luscious, sweet syrup all on its own. No cooking required. Just cover the bowl and set it aside while we work on our shortcakes. Now for the heart of the dish, the shortcakes themselves. These are more like a sweet, rich biscuit than a sponge cake, and they are absolutely divine. In a large mixing bowl, we'll combine our dry ingredients. That's 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Just whisk that all together to make sure everything is evenly distributed. This step is important for getting a nice, even rice. Next up is the butter, and it's a crucial component. You need 1 stick, or 1/2 cup of very cold, unsalted butter, cut into small cubes. The key here is very cold. Cold butter is what creates those flaky layers we're after. We're going to add the cubed butter to our flour mixture. Now, you have a few options for incorporating it. You can use a pastry blender, 2 knives, or my personal favorite method, your fingertips. You want to quickly rub the butter into the flour until the mixture resembles coarse crumbs, with some pea-sized pieces of butter still visible. Try not to overwork it or let the butter get warm. Those little pockets of butter will melt in the oven, creating steam and giving us that light, flaky texture. Once your butter is worked in, make a well in the center of your flour mixture. Now for our wet ingredients. In a separate measuring cup, whisk together 2/3 of a cup of heavy cream and 1 large egg. The heavy cream adds so much richness and tenderness. Pour this wet mixture into the well you made in the dry ingredients. Using a fork or a spatula, gently mix everything together until just combined. The dough will be a little shaggy and sticky, and that's exactly what you want. Don't overmix. Overmixing develops the gluten and will make your shortcakes tough instead of tender. We're aiming for perfection here, people. Now, turn that shaggy dough out onto a lightly floured surface. Gently knead it just a few times, maybe 4 or 5 turns, just until it comes together into a cohesive ball. Again, be gentle. Pat the dough out into a circle that's about 3/4 of an inch thick. Now, it's time to cut out our shortcake. You can use a 2.5 or 3-inch round biscuit cutter. Make sure to flour the cutter before each cut to prevent sticking. And here's a pro tip. When you press the cutter down, push straight down and pull straight up. Don't twist it. Twisting the cutter can seal the edges and prevent the shortcakes from rising to their full, fluffy potential. Place the cut-out shortcakes onto a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. You can gently press the scraps of dough back together to cut out a few more. This recipe should give you about 6 to 8 shortcakes. Before they go into the oven, we're going to give them a little finishing touch that makes all the difference. Brush the tops of the shortcakes with a little bit of heavy cream, and then sprinkle them generously with coarse sugar, like turbinado sugar. This creates a beautiful, sparkly, slightly crunchy top that provides a wonderful contrast in texture. It just takes them to the next level. Now, these beauties are ready to bake. We're going to pop them into a preheated oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit, or 200 degrees Celsius, for about 12 to 15 minutes. You're looking for them to be beautifully golden brown and puffed up. The smell in your kitchen is going to be absolutely incredible. While the shortcakes are baking, let's whip up our cream. Nothing beats homemade whipped cream. It's so easy and tastes a million times better than the stuff from a can. You'll need 1.5 cups of very cold, heavy whipping cream. Pour it into a large, chilled bowl. Using a hand mixer or a stand mixer with the whisk attachment, start beating the cream on medium speed. As it starts to thicken, gradually add 2 to 3 tablespoons of powdered sugar and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Continue to beat on medium-high speed until you reach soft or medium peaks. This means when you lift the beaters out of the cream, a peak will form and the tip will gently flop over. Be careful not to overbeat it, or you'll end up with butter. Once it's ready, just pop it in the fridge until you're ready to assemble. Okay, Ding. Our shortcakes are out of the oven. Look at that golden brown perfection. Let them cool on the baking sheet for a few minutes before transferring them to a wire rack to cool a bit more. The best way to serve these is while they're still warm. Now for the grand finale, assembly. This is the fun part, where it all comes together. Take a warm shortcake and carefully split it in half horizontally with a serrated knife. Place the bottom half on a plate. Now, spoon a generous amount of those juicy, syrupy strawberries over the bottom half. Don't be shy. Let some of that gorgeous red syrup soak into the warm cake. Next, add a big dollop of your freshly whipped cream. Place the top half of the shortcake on the cream, maybe at a slight angle to look extra fancy. And because more is more when it comes to strawberry shortcake, add another spoonful of strawberries and another dollop of whipped cream right on top. And there you have it. The perfect, homemade strawberry shortcake. The warm, buttery, flaky cake, the sweet, juicy berries, and the cool, light cream. It's a symphony of textures and flavors. It is pure dessert heaven. I really hope you give this recipe a try. It's the perfect dessert for a special occasion, a summer barbecue, or just a Tuesday night when you need a little something sweet. It's impressive, delicious, and so much easier to make than you might think. Let me know in the comments if you make it and what you think. Thank you so much for baking with me today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more delicious recipes. See you next time. Bye.